Welcome to Take It Tech News. My name's Tony Sinclair. Quite a bit of news this week, so let's dive in. The big story this week is SpaceX Dragon capsule. This week, the PayPal founders company launched the first commercial rocket in hopes of docking with the International Space Station. After a few days of flying, the new Dragon capsule was required to perform maneuvers to show its control and agility before NASA allowed the unmanned rocket to be grabbed by the International Space Station's Canadarm arm. Now this docking is very important because it gives Elon Musk's company a $1.6 billion license with the space agency to transport cargo and eventually astronauts into low Earth orbit. This is also the first commercial vehicle ever to dock with the ISS. With this docking, SpaceX has begun a new chapter in space travel. Using SpaceX could save NASA millions of dollars by freeing them from using the Russian space program and paying upwards of $400 million a year to get seats on that plane. In Apple news, the Cupertino-based company has announced its annual Worldwide Developers Conference in San Francisco. This is the expected launch place of the new MacBooks, iOS 6 and OS X 10.8 Mountain Lion. Most in the tech world believe that Apple will save the next generation iPhone for an August to September release date. Currently, with leaking backplates and speaker grills, this new flood of newfound parts points more to a June release. Well, there are only 2 weeks until we find out if a new iPhone will come out this June. In Microsoft news, this week it was discovered that around 6.4% of the top apps in the Windows Phone marketplace will not play on Tango devices due to the lack of RAM. Note that Tango phones have half the RAM of Mango devices. Some of the biggest name apps are Angry Birds and Skype. In more smartphone news, HTC has said that its Evo 4G and One X LTE have cleared through US Customs and are on their way to stores across the country. The holdup was caused because of a belief that the two phones infringed on Apple's patents. This has been cleared up. The father of the sweet treat Android, Google has just released new versions of its Chromebooks. These are very, very light laptops designed for online browsing. These new laptops are only a small improvement over their predecessors. Not worth the money with all these new, beefy tablets coming out. On a sadder note, layoffs have been announced at both Panasonic and RIM. The BlackBerry maker announced that it will be cutting 27,000 workers, and Panasonic says that it will be cutting its workforce at its headquarters in half, down to 3,500. And that's the news. Thanks for watching, and remember to check us out next week for another episode of Take It Tech News. For now, this is Tony Sinclair.